English Leap Podcast.
From Speak English with Class.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to another exciting and much-awaited episode of the English Leap Podcast, your go-to space for improving your English fluency. I'm Erin, your guide to making English learning fun and exciting.
And I'm Evan, here to share tips, tricks, and a little inspiration to help you on your English learning journey. We're so happy to have you with us today.
Today's topic is inspired by all of you. We've seen so many comments from listeners asking, how can I learn English alone without a speaking partner?
That's right, Erin. It's a question we hear a lot. So, we thought, why not answer it with a detailed episode?
Exactly. We know how frustrating it can be to feel stuck or unsure where to start, especially when you're learning alone. That's why we're breaking it all down into simple, actionable steps.
If you've ever wondered how to improve your English solo, this episode is for you. So, what are you waiting for? Grab your headphones, get comfortable, and let's dive right in.
Let me ask you this. Have you ever felt stuck trying to learn English on your own? Like, you don't know where to start or how to stay motivated?
That's such a common feeling, Erin. I remember when I first tried learning Spanish by myself. I would start strong but then lose focus because I didn't have a plan. Can anyone else relate?
Oh, for sure. When I was learning French, I struggled too. But then, I found that having a routine and the right resources made all the difference.
Exactly. And that's what we're here to talk about. Practical, easy steps that you can follow to make learning English by yourself less overwhelming and more fun.
Right. Whether it's setting goals, practicing speaking alone, or finding the right resources, you'll learn how to make English a part of your daily life.
And the best part? You're not really alone because we're here to guide you. Let's make this journey together.
Oh, before we move on, we've got something special for you. A free downloadable PDF for this episode.
That's right. It's packed with all the tips we'll be discussing today so you don't have to worry about missing anything.
Exactly. And one of the first tips we cover in the PDF, and that we're about to dive into, is the importance of starting with a plan.
Yes. Having a plan makes all the difference. Erin, how can our listeners create a solid plan for learning English?
Well, the key is to set clear goals. Instead of saying, I want to improve my English, try something like, I'll learn 5 new words daily. Small, specific goals work best.
Absolutely. And writing them down helps too. I keep a notebook where I jot down my daily goals and review them at the end of the week.
That's smart. And don't forget long-term goals, like being able to hold a full conversation in English or understanding a movie without subtitles.
Yes. And remember to celebrate your progress. Hit a milestone, treat yourself. It keeps you motivated to keep going.
Once you have a plan, the next step is building a daily routine. Evan, what's your routine like?
Mine's simple. I listen to a podcast or audiobook in the morning during breakfast. And in the evening, I watch an episode of a TV show in English.
I love that. I like to mix listening and reading. I read an article or blog post daily and listen to music while doing chores.
That's the thing. Find what fits your day. Even 10 minutes a day can make a difference as long as you're consistent.
Right. It's like exercising. A little every day is better than a lot once in a while. And speaking of consistency, immersion is so important. Surround yourself with English as much as possible.
Oh, absolutely. One thing I did was change my phone's language to English. Sure, I struggled with settings for a week, but I learned so much.
I did the same. Also, watching movies or TV shows with English subtitles is a great way to improve your listening skills.
And don't forget music. Sing along to your favorite English songs. It's fun and helps with pronunciation and rhythm.
That's a great point. And even labeling items in your home with English words can help reinforce vocabulary.
Okay, Erin, let's talk about resources. There are so many free tools out there. What's your favorite?
I love apps like Duolingo and Memrise. They make learning fun with gamified lessons and daily challenges.
Totally agree. And YouTube is another amazing resource with countless channels offering lessons on pronunciation, conversation, and vocabulary.
Yes. And for those who love reading, check out free online articles or blogs written for English learners.
Oh, and don't forget podcasts. They're perfect for improving listening skills and picking up new phrases.
Now, let's talk about speaking. Evan, this is where most people feel stuck, right?
Oh, absolutely. Without a speaking partner, it can feel impossible. But here's the thing. You can still practice speaking on your own.
Exactly. One of my favorite tips is to talk to yourself. It might sound silly, but narrating your day in English helps so much.
It really does. I also like recording myself. I'll read a short paragraph or talk about my day, then listen to it and see where I can improve.
And here's a fun idea. Pretend you're hosting a talk show. Just talk about random topics in English. It's not just practice, it's entertainment.
I love that. And let's not forget language exchange apps like HelloTalk. Even if you can't meet people in person, you can connect with native speakers online.
Speaking of connecting, listening is another skill that's super important. Evan, what's your favorite way to practice listening?
I'm a huge fan of podcasts and audiobooks. I usually listen while I'm commuting or exercising. It's such a good way to multitask.
Same here. And here's a technique I love, the shadowing technique. You listen to a native speaker and repeat what they're saying in real time, mimicking their pronunciation and tone.
Oh, that's brilliant. It's like practicing with a live coach. And for beginners, I recommend starting with slower-paced content, like podcasts designed for English learners.
Yes, and don't be afraid to pause and rewind if you miss something. The goal is to improve, not rush through it. Now, let's talk about reading. I know a lot of learners find this part intimidating.
They do, but it doesn't have to be. Start small. Read children's books or articles written for English learners. Graded readers are a great way to ease into it.
Absolutely. And if you come across new words, highlight them. Look them up later and try to use them in sentences.
That's a great tip. And don't underestimate blogs or online forums. They're not only informative, but also written in everyday language, which is super helpful for learners. Speaking of words, Erin, let's dive into vocabulary. What's your go-to method for learning new words?
Flashcards. Apps like Quizlet are amazing because they use spaced repetition to help you remember words longer.
Oh, I love Quizlet. And I always try to use new words in sentences right away. Like, if I learn the word delightful, I might say, "This coffee is delightful."
That's a great example. Also, don't just memorize words. Learn them in context. Reading and listening are great for this because you see how words are actually used.
Exactly. And for fun, you can create word challenges for yourself. For example, try using 3 new words in a conversation or a journal entry.
All right, Evan, let's talk motivation. What keeps you going when you feel like giving up?
Honestly, celebrating small wins. If I reach a goal, like learning 50 new words, I treat myself to something fun. Maybe a nice meal or a movie night.
That's a great idea. I keep a journal where I write down my progress. Seeing how far I've come really inspires me to keep going.
Love that. And joining online communities can also help. Seeing other learners share their progress is super motivating.
Yes, and don't forget to mix things up. If you're feeling bored, try a new app, watch a different type of content, or set a fun challenge for yourself. Now, this brings us to my favorite point, having fun while learning. Learning doesn't have to be all serious.
Oh, absolutely. One of my favorite ways to learn is by singing along to English songs. It's fun and helps with pronunciation.
Yes, and playing word games like Scrabble or crossword puzzles is another great way to make learning enjoyable.
And if you love TV, pick a comedy show in English. You'll laugh while picking up new phrases and slang.
That's so true. The more you enjoy the process, the more likely you are to stick with it. So find what makes you happy and make it part of your routine.
Wow, Erin, we've covered so many great tips today, but I feel like some of the words we've used might be new for our listeners.
You're right, Evan. That's why we've invited Charlotte, our vocabulary expert, to join us and break down some key words and phrases from today's discussion. Charlotte, over to you.
Hi, Erin and Evan. Thank you for having me. I'm excited to help our listeners understand and use some of the key vocabulary from today's episode. Let's dive right in. Fluency, meaning the ability to speak or write a language smoothly and easily. Example, improving fluency requires consistent practice every day. Motivated, meaning having the determination to do something or achieve a goal. Example, celebrating small wins helps you stay motivated while learning English. Routine, meaning a sequence of actions regularly followed. Example, building a daily routine makes it easier to stay consistent with your English practice. Immersion, meaning being deeply involved in something, especially a language. Example, immersion in English, like watching movies or listening to songs, improves your learning naturally. Resources, meaning tools or materials used to help achieve a goal. Example, using free resources like blogs and podcasts can make learning more accessible. Vocabulary, meaning the set of words known and used in a language. Example, expanding your vocabulary helps you express yourself better in English. Milestone, meaning a significant stage or achievement in a process. Example, finishing your first English book is a major milestone in your learning journey. Celebrate, meaning to acknowledge or mark a special occasion or achievement with an enjoyable activity. Example, celebrate your progress by treating yourself after reaching a goal. Consistent, meaning acting in the same way over time to achieve steady results. Example, consistency is key when it comes to improving your English. Pronunciation, meaning the way in which a word is spoken. Example, practicing songs in English is a fun way to improve your pronunciation. That's it for today's vocabulary. Try using these words in your conversations. They're simple but impactful. Back to you, Erin and Evan.
Thank you so much, Charlotte, for explaining those words so clearly.
Yes, Charlotte, that was super helpful. I'm sure our listeners now feel more confident using these words in their daily practice.
Absolutely. And remember, everyone, you don't have to be perfect. Progress is what matters. Take it one step at a time.
And don't forget to grab the free PDF with all the tips we shared today. It's linked in the description and is a great guide to keep handy.
Thank you so much for joining us. Keep practicing, keep smiling, and keep leaping forward with your English.
Until next time, stay motivated and keep making progress. Bye for now.
Your progress doesn't end here. To continue advancing your English skills, click on the next video or explore the additional videos we've thoughtfully selected for you.